Are you tired of occasional donations, $10 online gifts, and relying on grants? Give me the next 5 minutes and I'll walk you through how to create a recurring donor program for your nonprofit that not only brings in donors in the first 30 days, but creates sustainable revenue for your programs going forward. Hey, I'm Dan Johnson. I've raised over $3 million for small and medium sized nonprofits, and my first venture into fundraising was recurring revenue. I didn't like to fundraise for my nonprofits. In fact, my first nonprofit, I was a sophomore or a freshman in high school or in college or so. And I really didn't want to ask people for money. So I asked people for their time. So I got very good at asking people for their time, but I never wanted to ask people for money. And then someone told me that I was so good at asking for time, but time is something that is irreplaceable. Once somebody gives you time, they're never going to get it back. I should be able to also ask for money. And I started very small. I started asking people who were volunteering for my nonprofit, would they be willing to also give a recurring donation? And lo and behold, that started bringing in money for my organization, up to $3, $4, $5,000 a month coming into the organization and funding some of our operations. It also gave us some awesome unrestricted revenue that we could spend on infrastructure and staff instead of having to spend on our programs. And I want you to be able to implement something very similar in your nonprofit. So I want to walk you through the steps that you need to take to launch a recurring giving program that actually works. Ready? Let's go. Step one is you're going to need to identify why you need recurring donations. See, a lot of people think that recurring donors are people you need to offer trinkets to and swag and things like that. And that's cool. But really, the most important thing to them is, where's my money actually being used? What is going to be the impact of this? So you need to think about what is actually going to be paid for with recurring donations. If you're a addiction counseling center, for example, then you might have doctor visits or transportation being paid for by recurring donations. What costs your nonprofit money on a monthly basis that somebody could contribute to, and have an idea of how much that's going to be. The second thing you're going to do is come up with a name for this program. So when people give money on a monthly basis to a nonprofit, they're not just giving money and then hoping it goes somewhere. They also are part of a community. They believe that they are contributing significantly to the nonprofit's work, and it's important to build that donor community. So you're going to want to come up with a name for this community. Some of my names I've used in the past include the Solution Circle with a horse rescue nonprofit, the Lucky Corral, but other names that come to mind for your recurring ongoing giving program. The third thing you're going to want to do is come up with your levels. So for example, 3 standard amounts are $25 a month, $50 a month, and $100 a month. If you were an addiction counseling center and you had a level at $25 a month, what does that pay for? Does that pay for one person's transportation to a doctor's appointment? What is the $100 a month level? What does that actually pay for at the nonprofit? What will this actually do? What can someone tell their friends that they're doing by becoming a recurring member of your nonprofit? Step 4, you don't have to do this, but it really helps to make a big deal out of launching this recurring donor program. Not just because it's a new donor program and you want to get people excited, but because you're not just launching a recurring donor program, you're launching a donor community. You're launching something people can be a part of, and whether they get email updates or whether they get social media updates, however they get it, now they're a part of your exclusive club as an organization. So I strongly recommend either having a day that you launch and sending out emails and social media blasts and things like that leading up to the day, or having a actual event, whether in person or online. If you do a launch event, which I strongly recommend, then have one of your clients speak, have your executive director there, have an expert there, and have people sign up for your recurring program at that launch event. Make them feel like they're a part of something incredibly special, and you will get people signing up for that recurring program right away. And step 5 is integrate this across your nonprofit. Remember how I started. I started by asking volunteers who were coming into my nonprofit and signing up to volunteer if they would also make a recurring gift. And that process alone brought in several $1,000s a month to the organization. So think about all the different ways you can integrate recurring giving. Can you have a recurring giving button or option on your website? And can that actually be a default option for people to choose, and to choose one-time gift if they want to click away from it? Can you have recurring giving in your emails, in your social media posts? How can you integrate recurring giving into your program so that everyone knows they have an opportunity to be part of something special at your nonprofit? And that's it. If you put together those steps, you will launch a recurring giving program that people will want to be a part of. And you will start turning some of those one-time donations and one-time contacts with people into recurring revenue, and in many cases, unrestricted revenue for your organization. Now, if you want the one-page recurring donor plan that I use to fund my nonprofit, just drop recurring below this video and I'll make sure you get it. This is Dan, your fundraising coach, and I will see you on the next video.